In a previous video, I discussed the civil action J.B. Nicholas and the freelance took to allow press and family in the disciplinary hearings for those involved in the homicide and cover-up of Robert Brooks. This is an update to that video. I will be reviewing an article from the freelance. Hearings for Robert Brooks killers to start, but Letitia James doesn't want you to see them. New York State Attorney General Letitia James is fighting to keep the public out of disciplinary hearings for the prison guards and nurses who killed or failed to stop the killing of Robert Brooks. Employee disciplinary hearings for the prison guards and nurses allegedly, quote unquote, involved in the murder of Robert Brooks are set to start in early April, but State Attorney General Letitia James is fighting to keep them secret from the public, a court filing revealed on Tuesday. The filing was obtained exclusively by the freelance because its publisher is suing to open the hearings to the public. Brooks, 43, was allegedly murdered by six correctional officers at the Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th. Three more are charged with manslaughter. Two are charged with attempting to cover it up. Two additional guards and a sergeant are also charged, but their charges are currently secret. They're believed to be cooperating with prosecutors. The killing was unknowingly captured on video by cameras worn by four of the guards. Quote, Robert Brooks should be alive. The brutal attack on Mr. Brooks was sickening, and I immediately moved to terminate the employment of those involved, end quote, Governor Kathy Hochul said last Thursday. Pause for a second. Yes, she called for the immediate termination of those employees. There's a process that has to be done. Some people have been saying that these officers who were charged, who have been indicted, are currently no longer correctional officers. That's not true. The employees' disciplinary hearings are tentatively scheduled to commence in early April, Tuesday's court filing says. A total of 16 Doc's employees are suspended and, in addition to criminal charges, face administrative misconduct allegations and disciplinary hearings, said Governor Hochul and the state agency that manages New York prisons, the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, or DOCS. Two of those who would have faced administrative charges resigned. So this article is saying that two of the individuals resigned. Currently, I do know it's Anthony Farina. The second individual who resigned, I do not know who that is. I will attempt to find out and tell you in a future video, or in the comment section, I will post the name of that second individual who resigned. Continuing with the article. The freelance demanded docs allow this reporter to attend and witness the hearings in person, but docs commissioner did not respond to the demand. Systemic abuse by guards is fostered by a toothless and ineffective administrative disciplinary system that leaves the punishment of crimes and misconduct by guards up to private arbitrators instead of public officials. 9 out of 10 cases of alleged misconduct are not prosecuted, and of those few that are, 9 out of 10 fail. Just imagine those numbers. Imagine that for a second. When you have 90% of staff that are accused of wrongdoing, abuse, get away with it. For decades, New York law made it illegal for the public to know the disciplinary records of law enforcement officers, including prison guards. With few exceptions, officials interpreted the law called 50-A for the section of the civil rights law it occupied to effectively require secret disciplinary hearings for the officers. The murder of George Floyd by Minnesota police in 2020 changed that. Then Governor Andrew Cuomo and the state legislature repealed 50-A, and with it, the justification for keeping the disciplinary hearings of all law enforcement officers secret. In New York City, NYPD officer disciplinary hearings are required to be public by a city law. The freelance sued Docs for access to the hearings it will hold for those allegedly involved in Brooks' death in state Supreme Court in Albany on February 3rd. A hearing was originally set for February 28th, but a judge whose identity the clerk of the court refused to disclose rescheduled the hearing for March 28th. That prompted the freelance to ask the court to order Docs not to hold the hearings until the court decided whether they must be public. But the court denied the request, and the freelance appealed to the appellate division. James's office filed a letter opposing the request on Tuesday. Pause. So this is one thing that's key. There was a request from the freelance JB Nicholas to have the court hearings public. It was initially denied. JB Nicholas appealed that to the appellate division, and now you have the office of Letitia James filing a letter to oppose that request. Continuing on with the article, the letter argued that hearings must be kept secret to prevent, quote, harm to an employee's reputation based on premature disclosure of misconduct allegations. And it also argued secrecy is needed for full and frank investigation of potential misconduct. Pause. So my understanding, or my opinion rather, is why Letitia James wants to keep these hearings secret is because during this disciplinary hearings, what will come up is previous misconduct. And what we will learn is all of the previous investigations that occurred against these officers through the Office of OSI. In addition to that, we will learn about additional complaints that have been filed against these officers and staff from inmates. Back to the article. Justice Michael Mackey, Appellate Division, denied the freelancer's appeal. As it stands now, whether the public will have access to the hearings will be decided by a judge after March 28th, days before the hearings are set to begin. And for those of you who want to take a deeper dive, you can go to the link in the description, and here is the filing from the office of Letitia James. It's a 3-page document. You can read that yourself. And this is the end of the article. If you found value in this video, please like the video, share the video. Also comment on the video. I love to read your comments. I am reading them. I try to respond to every single comment, but if I don't respond, please don't take it personally. There's just too many. If you feel that I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel. My goal is to give you honest and direct feedback and go deeper than what the mainstream media is telling you. Take care, God bless, and see you next time.